Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Heartland Havoc podcast. I am your host, Caleb Long. Along with me is my co host, who got many compliments on, and when I mean many compliments, I mean one compliment from my regional manager about the Eagles crock pot at my work Christmas party.
Oh, nice,
Yeah, yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad the
She
Eagles
was
crock
very,
pot got a positive
she
comment.
was very envious and wanted to know where it came from, and I was like, I have no idea. And I'm like, my dad got it like a couple years ago, and I don't remember the time frame, but she was like, it wasn't a couple years ago, it was in 2018. And I'm like, technically that is a couple, technically that is several
How'd
years
she know it was
ago.
2018? Is that what was
Well,
labeled
she
on
was
it?
she was really looking. She was really looking on the internet for like 10 minutes trying to get this crock pot, and I think she was going on like actual websites to find it,
Oh my.
like regular sellers. And I'm like, You okay?" And I'm like, "Girl, you have to go on eBay or Facebook Marketplace." And everyone was telling her to go check it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, and she goes, "No, I need to find it new." And I'm just like, "Okay."
Oh my.
The crock pot, it'll work as well as new as it would be used. But here we are. This is
Well, they do wear out though.
okay. Well, like ours is still kicking after 7 years.
Oh
So, yeah. But here we are. We are done with football. We are moving on to wrestling and basketball. And it's going to be a little different. Obviously, because there are two sports, we can't deep dive as much into them, but we will try to keep you updated throughout the games, throughout the schedules, throughout the tournaments, and we will see what comes out of it. I'm going to start off with wrestling, and then we're going to talk about the matches and stuff like that, what teams have played,
okay.
and then we're going to go to basketball. My dad's got basketball, I got wrestling. So this may be just an info dump, but we're going to go through this. We're starting in uh we're going to try to keep this to like P Hack and like Muncie Montgomery and like South Williamsport, because there's just so many teams. But
There's a lot of
there's
teams.
a lot there's a lot of teams. There's more teams in wrestling, and there's a ton of teams in
Basketball.
basketball. So, okay, I'm starting off with Montgomery. Montgomery currently in wrestling, starting off with Montgomery wrestling, currently 8 and 0.
Wow.
8 and 0. Now that is coming from I believe 6 of those wins are coming from they did a dual meet tournament, the Dandy Mini Mart duels, where they went 6 and 0 and won that, beat Jersey Shore 67 to nothing.
Whew.
Bald Eagle area beat them 44 to 28. Wyoming area, they beat them 70 to 6. Beat Towanda 62 to 6. Beat Wilkes-Barre area 46 to 21, and beat Honesdale 35 to 28. So that's where 6 of their wins are coming from. Their first match was December 3rd. They had a very early,
Well,
they do wrestle very early
well, and
on.
that comes with the fact that a couple years ago PIAA changed it that with the teams basically need one less week of practice in
Right.
preseason
Right.
before they play their games. So it
Right.
lets some of these teams play sooner and right after Thanksgiving. There's some teams playing on Black Friday in some sports.
Yeah, which is absolutely
Yeah, I mean, we were still eating. We were having leftovers, trying to cheer on the birds.
we were
and
eating cheesesteaks while
cheesesteaks.
Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift were running up and down the field. But
Hey,
so
let's not relive that.
that was their last action last Saturday. But their first game was on Wednesday, December 3rd, as they beat Wyalusing 46 to 15. Last game, last match. I need to change my verbiage. And then they played Hughesville, beat them 57 to 9. They were scheduled to face Shikellamy, but that had to get rescheduled because of, and I know this because I work for the Shikellamy wrestling broadcasts. Montgomery's heaters stopped working in their gym, and it was really cold that day. It was one of the days where it was like low double digits, and I don't know, that was just really tough. But great start for Montgomery. They're always pretty decent in wrestling. And now we're moving on to Muncie in Saturday, December 6th, they took part in the drivers tournament. They got 5th place, and I'm only going to go through 5th place and up for finishers. At 2:15, Jacob Johnson gets the tech fall over Tyler Anderson from a team up in New York, Falconer. And then 2 first place finishers. We got Gage Swank, 127, getting the 17-2 tech fall win over Ehrlich. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but he got the tech fall. And then in a decision, Chase Boozer at 139 won 19-12. And then their first match was against Jersey Shore. They lose a close one, 41-36. Their next match is at Bloomsburg this Friday. So good luck to them. And then they have Sullivan County, my bad, on Tuesday the 23rd. That's going to be before we do our next podcast. And then South Williamsport only has partaken in the DKI tournament. We're recording this before the Thursday matches, so tonight they're taking on Benton. So we'll talk about that next episode, how they do. 13th overall in that DKI tournament with a 5th place finish from 160, Cade Lusk, and a 4th place finish for 172, their 172 pounder, Jaden Ham.
Okay, very good.
All right, so those are the teams that are partaking in the not the Tri-Valley, the Mid Pennsylvania Conference. And now we're into the meat and potatoes, the Heartland Athletic Conference.
Okay.
We're going to just start with Division 1 and work away to Division 2 and Division 3. Central Mountain is also one of these teams that has had a very good start. They started off their season at the Tom Best Memorial Top Hat Tournament where they got 4th place.
That's a great tournament.
It is a very good tournament. And they got a couple 3rd place finishers. They got 133 Patrick Tarantella with Tarantella, a major decision win. And at 215, Todd Karis in a decision win. And in 2nd place, they got Aiden Coons at 145. And then their heavyweight with Henry Hayes getting the decision in that one. So a couple 3rd placers and a 2nd placer and a 1st placer. Very good start for them. And then they're 2-0 in their dual meets, Mifflin County 37-28, and Shikellamy 42-19. And then they had the Penn Manor Holiday Tournament where they placed 3rd place. Rolling down, they got a 5th placer. Gavin Heverly got 5th place there. We got some 4th placers. Hayes Henry with a 4th placer at 185, and Todd Karis with a 4th placer at 285, I should say. And then Patrick Tarantella with a 3rd place finish, and then Aiden Coons at 145 with a 1st place finish. So very good start for them. They are going to be at the King of the Mountain tournament, which is the big tournament this weekend. And the only tournament that I ever did decent
I was
at.
gonna say, that's your favorite tournament of all time.
I only ever did decent in those. I was not the best wrestler. Y'all can look it up. I was below average at best, to put it simply. And each time that I went to the King of the Mountain, I always made it to day 2, and I would get knocked out in the 1st or 2nd round. But of day 2, but that's fine.
But that means you won 2 matches on the first day.
That's true. That does mean I had a little bit of a run in the consolation brackets.
Yeah.
A little bit of a run in the consolation brackets. A little bit of a dark horse, some may say. But now we move on to Jersey Shore. Their season record is 3-4. They did start off at the Tom Best Top Hat Tournament, and they got a 5th place finisher, Loudon Spots, with a 2-1 decision, and that was their only placer. And then they did the Dandy mini mart duels where they went 2-3, lost to Montgomery. We talked about that score, beating Wyoming area 51-24, losing to Bald Eagle area 45-19, losing to Honesdale 57-17, and then beating North Penn Liberty 48-22, and they lost to Towanda 42-29. And then they beat Muncie 41-21. 36. They are taking on Shikellamy tonight, and then they do have Williamsport after that on Tuesday. Taking a look at Shikellamy, a team that I've gotten to know pretty decently well so far. They are 1-3 right now, but they do load their schedule pretty heavy on like at the beginning, and then they have some of their more easier matchups later on in the season. State College, they took the loss 44-12. They beat Warrior Run 53-20, and then Central Mountain, they lost 42-19. Then at the Penstro Leasing Kickoff Classic, they took 8th place. That was at Cumberland Valley High School. They got a 4th place from Ryder Boric at 139, and then Brody Raybuck won that at heavyweight. Brody
He's
Raybuck,
wrestling heavyweight. The quarterback is wrestling heavyweight.
Quarterback's bumping up to heavyweight, and he nice. Has a legitimate chance of making it far in the state championships.
Nice.
He has a very good chance of that. And then Montoursville beat them 39-29. They have Jersey Shore next tonight, and then they have Montgomery on Tuesday. So that is what Shikellamy is up to. Looking at Williamsport, they placed 18th at the Tom Best Memorial Top Hat Tournament, and they did get a 5th placer in 189, Jackson Raker, and a 2nd placer, Jordan Pacelli. Jordan Pacelli at 114, a 2nd place finish for them. And then they faced off against Selinsgrove. They fell to Selinsgrove 58-16. They are also taking part in the King of the Mountain tournament, and then they have Jersey Shore next Tuesday. So that's what Division 1 is looking like. Central Mountain and Selinsgrove are up 1. Both have 1 win in that conference.
Early match.
Early on, and I will say that those are the only PHAC conference matchups of wrestling so far, but that's gonna get situated next. But we're moving on to Division 2 with Central Columbia getting 21st overall in the DKI tournament, and we have a 2nd place finish at heavyweight for them, with Clayton White Knight falling to Noah Johnson from Warrior Run. And then their first match was against Mifflinburg. They lost 68-6. And then they got Bloomsburg. They beat them 45-21. And then they have Towanda next Tuesday. They're traveling up to Towanda. And that's a very fun, interesting area. That's a very interesting environment to play at. Well, they say that this match is starting at 5.
They're probably starting at 5 with junior high.
Yeah, that's probably the case. Hey, we're not going to talk about the one time we went to Towanda, and then
another story later on.
We didn't get home until like 11, 12 at night on a school night. But
it's a whole other story.
Another story for another day. Maybe the day if Warrior Run and Towanda play each other this season. But we're moving on to the Danville Ironmen. Danville Ironmen 0-3 on the season so far in duels. They lost to Sullivan County 54-12. They also participated in the DKI tournament. They do have a 5th place finisher at 127. Ezariah Tobias at 127, getting the pin there. And then they faced off against Mifflinburg, losing 70-0. That is the biggest blowout I think I've unfortunately seen in wrestling. And then they lost a close one to Bloomsburg, 29-24. They did play Southern Columbia yesterday. I don't have the score for that. It's just not on the PAWrestling.com website. All right. And then they face off against Montoursville next Tuesday. Heading on over to Midwest. They're 2-1 in the season. They haven't done any tournaments yet, but they beat Juniata 39-27, and they beat Sugar Valley Rural Charter 44-15, and then took a loss to Newport 48-15. They are taking on they're going to the Panther Holiday Classic this weekend.
That is not anyhow, go on.
What were you gonna say?
That's not in Milton, though.
No, that's not in Milton. That is not in Milton.
Mount Aloysius.
Yes, Mount Aloysius College. Yeah, and I'm not gonna spend time looking at that. But speaking about the Black Panthers of Milton,
Great segue.
great segue. And they started with a dual meet tournament, the Case Flynn Duels, that was in Pottsville. They went 4-2 in that tournament, so very good for them. They beat Radnor 40-32, and I have no idea where some of these teams are.
Radnor's outside of Philly.
Okay, Radnor's outside of Philly. Where is Palmerton?
Palmerton, that
Palmerton.
is Schuylkill County area.
Palmerton, they beat Palmerton 41-30.
High Valley or Schuylkill County.
I know where Pottsville is. They beat Pottsville 49-24, my bad. And then took a loss to Northern York 65-4, and then took a loss to Northern Lebanon 43-23. And then they ended their dual tournament with a high note, beating Pocono Mountain East 47-21. And then in their first dual matchup this Tuesday, they lost to Mifflinburg 28-6. And tonight they have Lewisburg on the docket for them. Looking at Montoursville, also a pretty solid wrestling team, pretty consistently. They started their season with a loss to Selinsgrove, a 33-32 loss, and yeah, very close loss. And then beat Shikellamy 39-29 this Monday, and then beat Towanda. Okay, I have the score for the. Wait, no, that wasn't what I'm thinking of.
Oh,
Sorry.
Southern Danville, and that
Southern
scores.
Danville.
That score's not on District 4 website either.
Oh, interesting. But they had a Wednesday matchup and they beat Towanda 53-14. And then Montoursville has their first individual wrestling tournament with King of the Mountain. Very popular tournament for the teams in our area. Okay, we got Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel is one of those weird teams that schedules all their games late. And I say that because they had a match on the day after Black Friday. They faced Blue Mountain, lost to them 48-27. And then they had the DKI tournament. They got a couple 7th place finishers. And then they don't play until the PHAG Division 2 duels.
I'm not sure if that schedule's right because I thought.
Are you sure?
I thought they were wrestling. I thought they were wrestling Mifflinburg tonight. Pretty sure that's who Mifflinburg's wrestling.
Hold up.
I don't know if that schedule is entered right there. Because Mifflinburg has a home match tonight, and I thought it's Mount Carmel.
That is crazy. How is that? That is absolutely crazy. Wait, no, it's saying that Mifflinburg plays them on January 20. Oh no. Wait, there is some. Oh no, they definitely did not do this right. Because they're saying there's 2 matches on January 20th. On January 22nd, they're supposed to travel to Montgomery and have a home match against Mifflinburg, which that isn't right. So I don't know what's happening here.
And District 4 website's not right either.
I'm gonna trust the administration here.
Yeah, there's a wrestling match tonight, and I'm pretty sure it's Mount Carmel.
Hey, you gotta get the inside scoop, man.
Let me go to the Mifflinburg website.
Well, no, get it tomorrow so we can talk about it on the podcast later.
Okay.
What the heck? That's crazy. We're moving on to Shamokin. All right, Shamokin started their season with a 69-3 loss against Selinsgrove. They did compete in the DKI tournament. They got a 5th place finisher at 114, Xavier Carr. And then they had a loss to Lewisburg 60-18, and then a loss to Loyalsock 51-18. And then next Monday they will be taking on Bloomsburg. And that is it for Division 2. I don't know what's happening with Mount Carmel's schedule on the PAWrestling.com website, but that is a problem for future me and future me alone.
We're trying to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, Dad's trying to technical support this on his end. Okay, but now we got the Division 3, starting off with Bloomsburg. They got a 35-33 win against Benton in the DKI tournament. They got a 4th place finisher with Alex Billmeyer, 145. Did you figure it out?
Well, the Mifflinburg is expecting Mount Carmel to be at Mifflinburg tonight.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what's going on.
Hey, maybe tomorrow you will have
I will have
some
the
drama.
scoop.
You will
I
have
might
the
have some
scoop.
drama later on tonight. I might hear some things. Who knows?
Who knows? But with Danville, they beat Danville 29-24 and then fell to Central Mountain 45-21, and they do face off against Bald Eagle area tonight. By the time we wrap up recording, that match is going to start. So, and then they have Muncie on Friday, and then they have Shamokin on Monday. So, a lot of matches back to back for them in quick succession. We're going on to Hughesville. Hughesville did participate in the DKI tournament. Go to fifth placer at 121, Hunter Stevens, and then two third placers at 133, Ethan Wodrig, and 160, Kyle Hartman, both getting third place for Hughesville. Then they faced off against Montgomery, 57-9 loss, and then they took on. They hosted the Hughesville Spartans duels.
Wow.
And they went 5-1, beat Sullivan County 44-21. They beat Lackawanna Trail 57-12, beat Mid Valley 51-16, and then lost to Northeast Bradford 26-24. And then they rattled off a couple of wins against Wyoming Valley West 52-18, and then Wellsboro 59-12. So they are 5-2. They do have the Panther Holiday Classic, not at Milton, at somewhere else. How do you pronounce that?
Mount Aloysius.
Mount Aloysius.
Yeah.
Mount Aloysius College. Heading on to Lewisburg. They took a part of the Sam Lovelow Classic. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
No.
Never heard of that one. But they did have a couple third place finishes and a first place finish.
Nice.
At 139, Landon Michaels, a major decision, and then Ethan Long at 172. Those were their third place finishers, and then their first place finisher, Landon Wagner.
Yep.
I know he's pretty good. And then they beat Shamokin 60-18, and then and then had another tournament, the Carlisle Classic, and Nolan
Altoff.
Yep, thank you. Nolan Altoff, one of their fifth place finishers, and then Landon Wagner at 160, getting second place in that championship, but fell short. And then tonight they have Milton, and then tomorrow they have Wellsboro, and then they get a little bit of a break until after Christmas when there's the Trojan Wars.
Yep, sounds about right.
Heading on to Loyalsock. Fell to Columbia Montorvo Tech 32-29. Took part of that Tom Best Memorial Top Hat tournament up in Wilpo, Williamsport, and they had a seventh place finisher. They did not have anything above fifth place. And then they had a loss to Sullivan County 35-33, and then they beat Shamokin 51-18. And then Mifflinburg, obviously, they maybe will be facing Mount Carmel tonight. Who knows? But
they are. I checked both schools' websites have the match listed for tonight.
Okay, so then we need to riot at Mount Carmel and just tell them to fix the schedule. I say we protest.
Well, Mount Carmel has it on their website, just not. They must not have submitted it to wherever the District 4 or
PA Wrestling.
PA Wrestling.
Hey, that's all good. We'll be fine with that. Okay, Mifflinburg and the Tom Best Memorial Top Hat Tournament. They got third place in total out of all the teams. Very good.
Good team
for them. 285 heavyweight Landon Moser with a fifth place finish, and then in the championship matches at 133, Bradley I'm tired, man. Bradley Wagner getting second place at 133, and then 152, Lane Kennemond.
Yep.
Kennemond, yep. Kennemond, 152, getting a second place, and then your champions for Mifflinburg are Ben Straub at 139, and at 215, Landon Tucker.
Yep.
So good start to them, and then they are 3-0 in some blowout fashions, beating Danville 70-0, beating Central Columbia 68-6, and then beating Milton 68-6. And then they're also at the Panther Holiday Classic. Next up, we have Southern Columbia. They took a part of the Carlisle Classic, got a 5th place finish from Gavin Richards at 145, and 2 first place finishers, Rowan Humphrey at 114, and then a heavyweight Braylon Smith. And then they did have a match against Danville, and it still hasn't popped up for me. So I might look at that once we get to basketball and see if I find it. And then we have finally with Warrior Run taking part in that DKI tournament, 10th place overall in the championship finals. They had 3 first placers and no other placements. But Reagan Milheim, one of the best in the Milheim family, is just like dominant in Warrior Run when it comes to wrestling. I do think Reagan Milheim does have the all-time career wins for Warrior Run.
He just broke the record the other night.
He broke it at he didn't break it at Shikellamy. They showed it at Shikellamy during the Shikellamy match. I'm pretty sure. So it was the match before. I think it happened at the DKI tournament. I think that's what happened.
But he got 140. He has at least 149.
Yeah, but first place for Reagan Milheim, first at 160, 172. Max Wernsberger got the win there, number 1 in the DKI tournament, and then Noah Johnson, 285, getting that win in the DKI. They do have the King of the Mountain tournament. And then after that, they have the Trojan War tournament, and then they're going to have a lot of their dual meets. So that is all I have for wrestling.
That wraps up wrestling?
That wraps up wrestling.
Okay.
Single leg takedown. Triple leg.
All right, let's go through basketball. We'll go through basketball by District 4 standings, and we'll start with the biggest schools in the PHAC. So 6A, there's one school, Williamsport. So for playoff purposes, they're matched up with District 2. So they're amongst the District 2. But Williamsport right now has a record of hold on a second here, because that over of 4-2. 4-2. 3-3. Sorry, my bad. Williamsport boys millionaires have a record of 3-3 with wins coming over Carlisle. Crestwood, and Dallas.
Okay.
Losses coming to Central York, Shamokin in a close one, 60-58, and Hazleton. So that's where Williamsport sits. Now in 5A, we have 2 PAC schools, 3 District 4 schools, and they're grouped with District 11. So to the south of us, Schuylkill County, Lehigh County area. That's who they're grouped with. Selinsgrove is in there, sitting with a record of 2-2, having defeated Holy Redeemer by a score of 61-45, and Lewisburg by a score of 53-47. Losses to Mount Carmel, 57-52, and Southern Columbia, 67-53. And then below that, you have Shikellamy sitting at 3-3 right now, with wins over Northwest, Greenwood out of District 3, and Danville.
Okay.
Shikellamy losses come into Mifflin County, Montoursville, and Warrior Run.
Yeah, I mean, not to spoil anything, but Warrior Run may have one of the best, if not the best teams.
Yes.
In District 4, just in general.
Yeah. So now we drop down to 4A, where we are heavy in PHAC schools in District 4, real heavy in PHAC schools in District 4. So leading the way right now in District, let's start from the bottom, actually, in this one. You have Milton struggling in basketball, 0-6 right now. They have played. What is that?
What are you looking at?
Oh, it's weird. Like there's a date listed from like date must be entered wrong. Okay. It says 2/12/25 is the date. Well, obviously that would have been like last season.
Yeah, it would have been last.
But it must be just listed
Maybe
wrong.
the creation, it was December 2nd.
Okay. So, ouch. Okay, so Milton has losses to Columbia County Christian,
Okay.
Central Mountain, Bloomsburg, Muncie, Line Mountain, and Jersey Shore.
Okay.
That's who Milton boys have lost to. Coming up in the next week or so, looks like they have games against Hughesville and Central Columbia. Nope, Central Columbia is not until after the new year. So they have Hughesville left before Christmas break, and then they don't have a game until January 3rd.
That is
So
crazy.
that is crazy. They play Hughesville tomorrow, and then they don't have a game until January 3rd. Midwest boys basketball 2-3, and I know they've struggled in the past. So good to see them having a couple wins here. They start off the season 0-3, losses to Line Mountain, Halifax, and Montoursville. They've gotten wins over Northumberland Christian and East Juniata. Games coming up, they have Newport on Saturday, and then early next week they have South Williamsport.
Gotcha.
So more chances for possible victories there for the Midwest. Good job by them getting 2 wins to start out. Other PHAC schools, Danville area, currently 1-5.
Oh, okay.
Their only win is over Berwick, 58-53. Although they played some tough schools. Look at this schedule. Listen to this schedule.
I'm listening.
Crestwood out of District 2.
Rough.
Mifflinburg, who's
Popping
pretty good. Loyalsock, who's traditional power.
Mm-hmm.
Monersville out of District 11. I don't know how they are. And then Shikellamy. Games coming up. They have Shamokin before Christmas. During the holiday break, they play Southern Columbia. So that's what their schedule looks like for Danville. So they're looking to try to. I do know that they're trying to retool some things because one big center got hurt in that football game against Shikellamy.
Right.
So here we go with Central Columbia with a record of 3-2 currently. So they have victories over Loyalsock, 56-52. Win over Tunkhannock. Lost to Hanover area out of District 2. Defeated Hughesville and a loss to Mifflinburg the other night.
All right.
Now, games they play Northwest area tonight and Berwick before the break, Shikellamy over break, Bloomsburg over break. They're keeping their schedule going pretty steadily there, even with the holiday break there at Central. Jersey Shore's boys record 3-2. Wins over Columbia Montourville Tech, South Williamsport, and Lewisburg. Losses to Warrior Run and they lost to Lewisburg. Losses to Lewisburg and Warrior Run, and then defeated Milton.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, how did Milton manifest a win over there?
No. Milton's 0-6. Games they have coming up. They just have Loyalsock before the break, and then they have a huge Christmas break with their next game being January 2nd.
Okay.
So we'll see Jersey Shore in the new year after tomorrow night. Shamokin, the Indians, 2-2 record so far. So a light start for them. They have games against, they've lost to Lewisburg and lost to Abington Heights. And then they have defeated Williamsport and defeated Mount Carmel. Games coming up for them. Well, there's not a score entered here for. They did play Wilkes-Barre area the other night, so I'm not sure what happened in that game, or they were supposed to have played. Maybe they didn't. Tomorrow night they play Danville. It looks like they have Over break, they have a game against Southern Columbia and a
Okay.
school called the UW Carver of Engineering and Science out of this
The UW
UW Carver of Engineering and Science.
Carver of, okay, I'm gonna look this.
GW
GW
GW Carver.
GW Carver.
This is out of Philadelphia. It's District
George
12.
W. Carver High School. Okay, yeah.
It's out of Philadelphia.
It is out of Philadelphia.
So they're making the trip. This must be a tournament.
Yeah, that sounds about
This
right.
must be a tournament. They also play Pottsville before the new year. So Shamokin, again, keeping a pretty regular schedule going around the holidays. And then Montoursville sitting at 4-1.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you got the Warriors. Their one loss comes to Mifflinburg, which was 64-62.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then they defeated Sayre and Shikellamy, defeated Midwest, and then they defeated Hughesville. They play Wellsboro on the 20th, which is Saturday.
Okay.
Warrior Run on Monday.
Oh my. Okay.
And then they have Loyalsock over break and Selinsgrove over break, 27th and 29th. So this is an interesting schedule for this Montoursville team with some heavy hitters coming. Some heavy hitters coming up. So Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel's record is 3-1. 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. Wins over Selinsgrove and Tamaqua, defeated Mifflinburg, and lost to Shamokin.
Okay.
Looks like they should have played Bloomsburg the other day. No score entered here.
Interesting.
They played they have Minersville coming up and Dunmore in back-to-back nights here. Then, wow, talk about. I'm not sure about this Mount Carmel schedule.
Okay, well, I think we figured out that Mount Carmel just like
I don't know what's going on out there.
Doesn't know how to put schedules in their database.
Maybe
That's what I'm figuring out.
Lewisburg is 4-2.
Okay.
They defeated Shamokin and North Schuylkill. Then they defeated Jersey Shore, lost to Selinsgrove, win over Mifflin County, and lost to Warrior Run last night, 59-56.
Okay.
So tough games there. Then they play Southern tomorrow night. They play Nativity BVM coming up over break. Well, the 22nd Monday. Some people aren't on break. I am. They do play Mifflinburg over the holiday break on the 29th with a nice little Union County battle there. So right now they are in top of District 4, 4A.
All right. Moving on to 3A.
Moving on to 3A. Starting down low, Hughesville 2-3 with wins over Berwick and Northwest. Losses to Greenwood, Central Columbia, and Wellsboro. They have games against Montoursville and Milton and Montgomery coming up. South Williamsport basketball 1-2 on the season so far. No, that's not right. Why did I say that? Okay, sorry, they're 3-2 on the season. Canton with a win over Canton, St. John Newman, and Montgomery. Losses to Muncie and Jersey Shore.
Okay.
Mifflinburg 2-2 with wins over Montoursville and Danville.
Okay.
Losses to Mifflin County and Mount Carmel. They should have played Central Columbia the other night.
No score on that one.
No score on that one. They play Selinsgrove tomorrow night. Over break, Shikellamy and Lewisburg. See how those games work out for them. Bloomsburg 3-1.
Okay.
wins over. Started out with 3 straight wins. They defeated Berwick, Milton, and Lords Regional.
Okay.
Lost to Mount Carmel. They play Benton tonight. They play Shikellamy tomorrow night. Early next week, they play Lime Mountain, and they play Central Columbia over the holiday break. So that's who they have coming up. Let's see. Looking at a PHAC, Loyalsock is next team with a 4-1 record, with their only loss coming to Central Columbia. Wins over Wellsboro, Danville, North Penn, Mansfield, and Central Mountain. Game tomorrow night against Jersey Shore. Local battle against St. John Newman coming up, and Montoursville. And it looks like then they're in a tournament where they play either Bellefonte or Selinsgrove over a break.
All right.
So that is Loyalsock. Southern Columbia, because of football, looks like they've only played one game.
Okay, tracks.
And that was the win over Selinsgrove.
Okay.
They have a game tomorrow night against Lewisburg, a game Saturday against Tri-Valley. They're in a Shamokin tournament, apparently, right after Christmas.
Okay.
And they play Danville over Christmas break. So they're piling in some games there due to the strong run they had in football.
Due to the fact that they are the football champions,
right,
of the world.
And then leading 3A is Warrior Run with a record of 5-0. So far, they have defeated Central Mountain, Columbia County Christian, Shikellamy, Jersey Shore, and Lewisburg.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, they're at South Williamsport. They play Montoursville. And then they must be in that Shamokin tournament also with that GW Carver School and Southern. So, I'm not sure who they're playing first. But that's what their schedule looks like before they get into the PHAC League schedule after the new year. So that's what we have in 3A. 2A,
right.
Dropping down to 2A, looking at PHAC schools or area schools. We really only have Montgomery at 2-3. Wins over Columbia Montourville Tech and Bucktail.
Okay.
Losses to North Penn Liberty, Meadowbrook Christian, and South Williamsport.
Okay.
Then we have Muncie at 4-2 in 2A. Their wins have come against East Juniata, MMI Prep School.
Okay.
Out of District 2. South Williamsport and Milton. That's who Muncie's defeated. They've lost to Troy and Towanda. Games coming up. St. John Newman, Bucktail, Susquehanna, and North Penn Liberty will take us through the break.
All righty.
And there is no single A schools in District 4 that participate in the PHAC.
Okay.
So that takes us through all the PHAC basketball schools. Wow.
That is a boatload of information.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
A boatload of
Thank
information.
you for sticking through. Thank you for.
I don't know if you want to talk about leaders at all, or if we just want to move on.
Unfortunately, I think we are getting a little pressed for time.
We are getting pressed for time.
But as always, we always have to end up with our talking time machine. And let me see if my dad remembers after rattling off so many standings.
No, so we're going to go with talking time machine. This is okay. So we're gonna keep with the holiday themes.
All right.
Okay, so these movies, there were several of them. Well, there's a couple of them that had this particular style of animation. You'll probably figure this out pretty easily. but it is very much
Cartoon.
70s and 80s style.
Yo, like Hanna-Barbera.
No, not Hanna-Barbera and
Mickey
cartoons.
Mouse Clubhouse.
No, we're talking about specifically.
we're talking about like the Dr. Seuss ones.
No, we're talking about the Rudolph and
Yeah.
Frosty.
Yeah. Those were earlier than the 70s, I think.
Well, it might have been.
Are you asking? Am I trying to figure out which one's your favorite?
Sure, let's go with that one.
Okay. Is your one with like?
What was my favorite Christmas show as a child? What was my favorite Christmas show or movie as a child?
I feel like you're a basic man, and do you like basic things?
Well, younger than teenage.
Yeah. No, I know.
Okay.
You're a child. Yes.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
8-year-old Christopher
Yeah,
Long
yeah, clarify.
would love Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah,
Reindeer.
Yeah, you
Okay,
got
yeah,
it.
that
Yeah.
I was thinking of the I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. That one I like that one where it's like the sun, basically the sun and like
The heat.
summer, the heat more and like Snowmeister or whatever.
Heat Miser and
Heat
Snow
Miser.
Miser. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're fighting between each other. I liked that one. That one was fun.
No, I was definitely thinking of Rudolph. And what style was that?
Oh gosh, I don't remember what the name of the company was. Are you
The
just,
company,
are you just,
like
asking like, oh, it's like stop motion?
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
I'm
that's
asking.
what you were looking for?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were looking for the actual name of the company.
No.
All right.
No, so we'll just go back there. That'll finish out a little walk back through Christmas time.
Yes.
For
Talking Time
that.
Machine.
That's right, for Talking Time Machine.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess this was the early season preview for both wrestling and basketball. I mean, the next coming episodes won't be as long for sure. Hopefully.
No, we got through that. We got to try to highlight some things as we go forward from there. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll highlight some wins as some winners as better teams and make their way, improve themselves going forward.
Separate the pack.
That's right.
All right. Go out and watch some wrestling matches or some basketball games. Go to your local gymnasium.
It's usually warm in the gym.
It's usually warm in the gym. All right.
Okay. See ya.
Adios.